I did not realize you guys were sitting there waiting for me to start a stream. My apologies. My apologize. My apologize. Oh, now I gotta mute that. Gummit. No. I'll just mute it. Not that. What's up, E-Money Ray Thulu? Who else is in here? Just you and Ray? Chitting and chatting. Added tonight's results to the year to date tally for D&Q league points. Mike and Siege are tied for second place with 30 points each. Kevin Sharp is first with 55 points. Serious lead. Holy cow. Unbelievable. All right. Well, hey, guys, as long as you're here, might as well like and share that link out. And wait, this is just going to be me drawing Mike. Dadgummit. I drew a blank on Mike's last name. Mike Stewart may or may not be joining. I'm not sure, but here, let me let me share my screen. No, my Chrome tab, which is. Hey guys, Bitcoin's up at $10,500. I don't know if you noticed that. Inking Blacklist Universe StreamYard. No, where is it? Hangouts video call share. All right, there it is. So that is what I am working on. Hey, Dennis is here. What's up, buddy? My buddy. Aloha.
How are you daily?
So this is just going to be me working, and you guys are watching this in reverse image. So I apologize. I don't know how I could switch it out. You know what? I could, because I could do this. No, wait. If I did this, then I could do something else. I'd be in a reverse image and screw it. It's a reverse image. Get used to it. Get over it. See that? I drew the little Medal of Freedom reward right there. Award. All right, I'm going to unmute myself. Whoops. Mike just...
Why did they have to give it a tremor? I like it.
Oh, I'm trying to unmute myself. There we go.
My RAM.
Crystal!
Mike is apparently still muted, so.
His name is Spawn.
So there we are. Aloha, one and all. Thank you for being here. As I slowly try to build this channel up into something.
His brother.
We got 190 subscribers. Hey, we're almost a fifth of the way to what's it called? Funding? No.
I'm talking to myself.
What the heck is it called?
I'm talking to myself.
When you can have monetization. That's the word. That is the word. All right, let me change my background here. Nah, that's too. There we go. That's a nice calming background. Monetization. Yes. I figured it out. You didn't have to explain it to me. All right, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to be working on this. You know what? I'm going to try to go back on the brush. Where's my brush? There's my brush. And I'm actually a little bit into my whiskeys.
Jojo.
Taking some teeny tiny sips. Teeny tiny, itty bitty sips of whiskey. Just to relax. I made the foolish decision to go over and click on that stream the Pie Man is playing right now. And wouldn't you know it, the second I clicked on it, guess who they were talking about? Honestly, I think if I had a sale for every time they bring me up, I would have a $250,000 campaign running right now. Wouldn't that be hilarious? What's up, Bo? Hey, look at that. Bo's in there, Elijah.
No.
What did you say, Elijah?
Why say no, Elijah?
No. Why so
Getting worried about how much time you spend with this man. It's a little creepy, dude.
Yeah.
A little creepy. Do you have any friends your own age, Elijah?
What?
Do you have any friends your own age?
I have the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's close enough.
Yeah. P Money name not being green and having no wrench feels so
Who
Nick. Oh,
asked?
fine. Sheesh. Oh shoot, I can't do it because I'm logged in as Blacklist
my
Universe right
friends
now,
are
so
imagining.
it would require me logging out to log in. So whoever's got the wrenches right now, you are in control of my channel, basically. More or less. More or less.
They're creepy and they're spooky. I think I need a poopy.
Okay. Da.
Protocol.
Isaac.
Let me see
Right.
Slender Man. 10 people watching
So
me
you're
now.
telling me
Thank you
Mike
for
is
popping
not
in.
good.
Say hello in the chat. And yeah, if you got any questions
Sitting
about
shot in the head.
inking, about comics, about
Oh,
whatever, if you just want to shoot the proverbial breeze right in the head, then
His head's
let me know. I'm
What
here
does this
at
mean?
your leisure.
Uh-oh.
For
Oh,
your
yeah,
pleasure,
there's,
I'm here at your
season-
leisure. I'm doing this live streaming thing because I need to get my hours up. I need my hours up for this channel. There's only 10 people here. You make it seem like it's been flooded by your enemy.
Yeah, not just that, but the corruption is
What?
better
Does that make sense?
except for
Victor, you're weird. Victor's weird. But then again, we all know that already.
the corruption mimics
Flooded
are
by
better.
enemies. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like the Crimson Mimic. The claw's super good.
The crimson mimics better. But the corruption
Is that resolution okay? Because I can whack that. But then it would just be this camera pointed down
Game ran out of memory.
at the paper instead of
Man. Oh man. Oh man.
instead of having both.
Don't really
Victor sees a lot of things that just aren't there. I know, right? It is a little worrisome. A little worrisome.
signature.
Da. Why am I singing the theme song to Star Trek Next Generation?
What? Store truck?
Hello,
Store truck?
Hello.
you're back.
What's up, man?
Not much, just
Oh, Dallas.
inking. No, it's not Quinn. Quinn's in Chicago right now.
Wow. I just opened up 20
Just
games of
looking pretty
Thrones.
good.
Inking, bro. Just inking.
Oh no.
Although I don't need to be using Google Hangouts for this.
What this perfectly like before.
That just dawned on me that window's unnecessary for Hangout on StreamYard.
You like how noisy this controller is?
Yeah, why are you making so much noise?
Yes.
Doodly-dee-dee-dee-doodly-dee.
I killed everything.
So what do you got on the table?
I am drawing pages for
You can't tell me.
my book Cyberpunk, and it's a parody of the Terminator.
Oh yeah?
The female Terminator.
Uh-huh.
She's sent into an alternate timeline, Earth,
Uh-huh.
and it's a cyberpunk. It's like we have technology already at the cyberpunk level, and she basically Skynet, or not Skynet, but a parody of Skynet, has decided to blow up all the cities in that timeline because they're too advanced to fight, I guess. So we're gonna nuke them.
Mm.
It's just like a 4-page short story.
Oh.
And
Just for fun, or are you doing something with it?
yeah, for the it's gonna be in that book, the cyberpunk book that I did on the Kickstarter. And
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
So it's like it was already
Defend that attack.
like funded. I just have to finish up the last pages of it.
All right. Oh.
Oh
So for everyone in the chat who doesn't know you, man, let them in on who you are.
Well, I am Mike Stewart. I started in comics drawing backgrounds for Top Cow, and I've done various small projects.
Which is, by the way, how
in there.
that's how Mike Turner started.
Yeah, actually, the guy I was drawing backgrounds for is Kuchop.
Yeah.
And he started out drawing backgrounds for Turner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It
And I
all
was like
comes
trying
around, doesn't it?
to like I think at the time I was interested in Aspen Comics because I was a Turner fan. So I was like when I met him and stuff at Coup, and I already knew who he was because I was a Top Cow fan and all that. So he's like, you want to draw some backgrounds? I was like, oh heck yeah, that'd be great. And like train me up and stuff. And how I got started, pretty much.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know how many people know that about Mike, because I think he moved from backgrounds to doing other stuff really quick.
Yeah, he. From what I was told,
Why do you have to make so much
by the
noise?
Top Cow guys is he, because of what you mentioned, the quickness of his going from background to like pages and
Uh-huh.
comics. There's a lot of guys, a lot of people jealous there. Like I don't know what the names were, but a lot of the guys in the studio who've been there longer were pretty jealous of Mike's quick rise.
Wah.
Talented dude,
Yeah, yeah.
pretty good. But
I tried to get him not to go over to Top Cow, but whatever.
yeah, I guess so. He had legal trouble with them with his. I think it was Fathom.
How to do that.
Oh, yeah?
So he was trying when he started Aspen Comics. He was trying to get the rights to Fathom back, and then he had to sue Top Cow because they wouldn't relinquish the rights
Really?
because he had created it while he was with them.
Right.
And
Imagine that. A studio that was founded on all this stuff about creators' rights, and they have to sue to get the rights to Fathom. Wow. That's stupid.
it's like a hot property. They want it.
What is making all that squeaking noise?
And what else? Should I tell more about how I started?
Yeah.
It's so like, man, I used to when I first started. This was I feel old now, but it was back in 2000, maybe 9 and 10 time period, where I was going to conventions like Wizard World LA and different conventions. I went to all of them, including San Diego, and I would show my portfolio to a lot of people and just get feedback. I would read those Wizard how to draw and how to break into comics. It's always show your portfolio to the artists that you admire and get their feedback so how you can improve. And then one day for the how I met the Top Cow guys was I was a fan of their work already, and David Finch put out a call on his website for people to show up to the Meltdown Comics in LA.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's called. And so I met him, Joe Benitez, Kuchal, a bunch of Top Cow guys, one of the band members of Linkin Park, and a bunch of interesting stuff going on in LA. And basically that's how I started out was I would bring my portfolio with me everywhere, and they took a look at it. They said, "Let me see that. What's that in your hand?" I said, "Oh, it's just my portfolio." And then I had like a female version of the darkness,
Uh-huh.
with, like skulls in the background, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is yeah." They're like all into that, like Witchblade darkness.
Yeah.
So that's how they approach me.
That's
through,
cool.
Through the background. So it's pretty it's interesting because you first enter the industry, you meet all your like these artists whose work you enjoy.
All right.
Then you kind of like start
Might
truck
just
for
smell
the
me.
beginning, and then you just realize they're just people too, and
Yep.
you know,
You said
they
it.
just
And some of them are
work
jerks.
hard. What's that?
And some of them are jerks.
Yeah. Well, there are jerks in the industry, but then there are those that are pretty good people.
Yeah.
You know, let's like balance that, I guess. But there's a lot of funny convention stories. Like I forgot the name of the inker. He would complain about Joe Benitez's pencils being so sloppy and messy
Uh-huh.
because they were like really smudged up at the time. And he would bring that page that he's supposed to ink because they were assigned to like a DC book or something. He would bring it around the con to all the artists and be like saying, "Look how crappy this is! Look how sloppy this is!" And I was like, as a young like artist, I'm like, oh, it's just like kind of shocking. You're like, oh, I don't think I would talk bad about people like that, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's like in any other job. You're like, you just trying to get the work done, and if you, as a penciler, you don't want it to be too messy for your inker. You're gonna really piss them off. So, you learn a
Well,
lot of lessons.
Joe's pencils are pretty loose still.
What's that?
Said Joe's pencils are pretty loose still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tightened up since then, but man, those were very loose pages. But I believe he has a guy doing his background stuff now too to make
Really?
the pages produce the pages quicker. And yeah, I think his name's Martin Montiel or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Joe's
he's just doing the Lady Mechanica stuff still.
Yeah, I mean, dude, last time I talked to him was a while ago. He said that he was getting orders for something around 20,000 an issue, but this was like a couple years ago, so he might have grown since then. I don't know.
But he always sells out of those at all the shops that I talked to. But I think the first publisher he went with was Aspen, and then he just went
solo.
He kept his rights and then just does self-publishing now.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
and he's selling those things at freaking every con in the country.
Yeah, those people. It's a good. I like his stuff. It's funny because another convention story. Of course, he knows Mark Silvestri and stuff because he worked for him and all that, and did background and whatnot. But Mark Silvestri walks up. He says, anytime you want it, we'll publish your book. I don't even have to ask. And so as a young artist, I'm like, how come you don't publish with them? And he like didn't want to really say, but I figured it out. It's like he was probably worried about like maybe some kind of legal thing, like what Mike went through. So,
yeah, maybe, but also
I'll get the one
Top Cow publishing it would just mean, hey, you're making let's see, if you're doing 20,000 an issue, he's probably making around 20,000 times, what are they, $4 each, $5 each? Makes 48%, 40% from Diamond on those orders. So for 20,000, he's making, is that 16,000? Is my math wrong here? No, my math is wrong. $32,000 a book.
Yeah.
Roughly. If he goes to Top Cow's going to take half of that.
Oh yeah,
What does he need Top Cow for?
that's that's what those posters do. Might be, I don't know what all, but yeah, I can assume that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. I mean, unless
Either
he's,
cut.
except if he's doing it through Image, and then Image is just taking $2,500 per issue,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know what the Top Cow's direct deal or whatever. So,
Not as good as Image,
Call Dallas.
yeah.
but
Why do you?
the only downside with Image is they don't help you promote. You have to do all that yourself, like
And he's already doing all that himself.
unless you're a big name. But yeah,
He's already doing it all himself. He doesn't need the Image discount to get in previews. He's already getting enough sales direct to the stores. He probably doesn't even have to have an ad in previews anymore. People are just looking for the book.
yeah, and I think that's probably more of like how the way of comics is going. Like you've got your like whole like Indiegogo, which is basically it's self-publishing, and
Yeah.
I think that's the way of comics now. I mean, it's from what I've seen and heard, it looks and the sales numbers show that like Marvel sales have gone down, DC's has gone down over the years, even though they're probably doing better than Marvel.
Well, this past year has been an uptick, so I don't know if they've hit bottom or if it's a fluke year or what, but
Yeah.
I think all the complaints from the Peanut Gallery have actually helped them to stop doing as much stupid stuff as they were before.
Well,
Yeah, like attacking people on Twitter.
Yeah, that's gone. That's gone. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
It's gone. And I think
About like what happened to all the
honestly, I
Twitter?
think they saw that Mark Waid was going to lose this lawsuit, and they probably got scared.
Well, he's not winning it because from what I read, it was the what was it called? He's trying to get out of going to that court in that state or something like that. So it's not looking good for him.
Yeah.
So
The hard one.
that's the next level up from just harassing people on Twitter. You're actually calling a company to tell them not to
Yeah.
publish
Tortious
somebody's book
interference.
because you don't like them and you think they're what you're saying they are, which you don't have any evidence of.
But it seems like everybody just kind of quit. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that okay? Is it
Company
they
policy.
quit, or is it that the attention has gone? Right? Like, who the hell? Nobody's bad mouthing these people anymore, right?
Yeah.
Before all these Comicsgate guys, they were bad mouthing a lot of creators, and so I don't know if it was the chicken or the egg or whatever, but they've kind of stopped because it seemed like the movement moved towards a different goal, and because they stopped, maybe the reactions have stopped. And so, as long as one side stops, eventually the other side just gets bored.
Right. Yeah, they seem to have disappeared, but was the other thing is
Good question.
I noticed I find myself being on these weird block lists, even though I never talked to people before,
Mm-hmm.
and they just consider you guilty by association.
Mm-hmm.
You follow somebody, then they block you.
Right.
So that's another thing there, combined with the other stuff that you mentioned.
I hardly ever even notice that anymore.
Yeah, just don't pay attention.
Honest goodness, I should. If we were both smart, Mike, we would just get off of Twitter. It's freaking hellhole.
I know it is, dude. I mean, the only reason I like it is because there are people who like enjoy
Blood sports.
the comic work up there, and then I follow guys like you and the other artists, but that's pretty much it. Like, other than that, it's like this place for people to get harassed.
Yeah. And harass. Do the harassing themselves.
Yeah.
They should just change the name to harassment.
Kind of is. It's like It seems that's the way our world is going.
And it's weird because it's like this. It's an open. It's all it is an open message board to the world, right? I used to be on message boards all the time when I was younger, and it was people would go to particular message boards because of a particular topic or a particular fandom or whatever, and then it became like Twitter and Facebook, these social media sites, they become the message board, but without the specifics, right? So it's like, yeah. I mean, there's pages and stuff on whatever Facebook where you can go and it's still kind of like a message board because it's like maybe it's a closed group and you just want to talk about Spider-Man or whatever. But particular to Twitter, it's like anytime if you're trying to have a conversation about Star Trek, everybody can read it, and anybody with any kind of opinion about anything you said can pipe in there and start a freaking fight. And it's everybody's sensitivities is set so on high that someone can say just the tiniest little snarky thing and it'll turn into a freaking bloodbath.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, I guess part of the doxing thing is they try to look up where you work and LinkedIn and all that.
What is all that crap about? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a little culture. I guess.
Victor says, I'm blocked by mags. The question is, do you care?
I know, right?
I certainly don't care. I don't think I'm blocked by mags. I don't know. Let me go check. I haven't bothered looking it up in.
If I'm blocked, you're definitely blocked because you're more out there. You're
Mags Visage.
you're more blocked.
Mags Novaggio.
I know that one blocked me. What's her name? Starts with an R. It's Renlicious or something. I can't remember.
I think she's blocking me.
Ren Famous.
I don't even know. You know what? I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. I don't know what her Twitter handle is. I honestly couldn't give two rips. You know?
Right. Yeah, I don't care either. I'm just saying it's odd. It's like people I don't even know or never even mention anything.
Well, I mean that's the interesting thing. Before all of this social media it's a blessing and it's a curse, right?
Yeah.
Because before all this, it's like you wouldn't have had access to Alec Baldwin or Chris Pratt or me, right? Twitter,
Well, I mean,
it's for people who have their own accounts. It becomes this bizarre. Hey, you're welcoming everybody to send you a message, and damn it, if people are just going to send you messages telling you what a piece of crap you are, block them.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Is if somebody's trying to like start something up, you just block them right away and carry on with your day and keep working, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing too.
that's right. And then people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you blocked me! You're a social justice warrior." You know what? I blocked you because I don't care about your opinion, so you can say whatever you want.
That's like having somebody knock at your door and like shouting into your windows, and then like you ban them from entering your property, and then they're saying you're an SGW.
Yeah.
Like, no, I just don't want to hear you.
I don't. You have no.
You fired.
I don't mind like real criticism, right? I
Yeah.
appreciate real criticism. It keeps people on their toes. But just vitriolic crap, it's like, I don't need that in my life. Who needs that in their life? I don't care if it's, I'm not siding with Visaggio or Mark Wade or anybody, but anybody, me, Richard Meyer, he left Twitter altogether. Probably the smartest out of all of us. You know, anyone.
Fill those books, and people get them. People do go for it.
It's like, yeah, you may have the right to be on this platform. You don't have the right to force me to listen to you talk crap about me. I think I was even making that comment today where it's like, look, if you have high profile people and what is it? You're well, I guess that's a different topic. That was more about punching down. Because like, you don't see Ben Shapiro or PewDiePie and Steven Crowder. You don't see these guys who have countless smaller YouTube channels attacking them on the regular, right? Daily.
Yeah.
There's probably 1,000 anti-Ben Shapiro videos being produced a day. You don't see Ben wasting his time like going and e-fapping those guys' videos. Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
You got better stuff to do.
oh, you don't think I know about the economy? Well, let me tell you about the economy here. Let me pause your video 12 times and blah blah blah. It's like, it's first of all, it's punching down. Second of all, it makes you look like so petty and juvenile.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And it's like there's not enough free time, anyways, to
Yeah.
deal with all that. Why not just do something different with your time?
Right. Do something useful with your time. For me, I'll draw a comic book.
Same.
My problem is I am drawn to that kind of conflict. But I don't do it, right? It's like, I know Comic Book Hut has made videos where he's said some stuff about me. I know the SWC guys have made videos mocking me. So what? They're like these little guys.
Who are they anyway?
They're just little. They're
YouTubers?
little YouTube critics.
Oh, okay.
They're comic book fans and YouTube critics and people who may not like my particular attitudes or whatever about whatever. And fine, they're welcome to their opinion. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with somebody with 300 subs, because I can't stand to hear someone say something negative about me.
They're just trying to like get attention.
They're trying to get attention. That's right.
They don't even. They don't really have a dog in any fight. They just want to get attention on their channel, I guess.
I guess so. I honestly don't care what their motivation is because I honestly don't. You know what? The funny thing is, I'll listen to what they do say, to see if I agree with any of it.
Yeah.
Like the SWC guys, they went to town. They did a review on Lone Star and they just ripped it to shreds. But
What's SWC?
I can't say it. S stands for a bad word, and then web comics.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll have to.
what I did to their horrible critique was I listened to it to see if there was anything of value in their critique. And I understood some of their arguments. I understood some of their criticisms. So it wasn't a complete waste of time, but certainly their delivery. I mean, if I was a I don't know what's the word. If I was a vain person, I suppose I would be like, oh, I have to respond to this. I can't let this stand. They said bad things about my comic book. It's like, so what? You know what I'm saying?
Just ignore them.
Well, I didn't even ignore them. It's not, it wouldn't be of any particular value for me to try to argue their points via EFAP or Twitter or anything. I'm not going to sit there and pick apart them picking me apart so that I can try to show the world how they're wrong in their opinions. That's their opinion. It's America. Have your opinion.
Yeah, they're entitled
You
to.
can. I mean, dude, if those guys, I mean, they're like atheists and whatnot, but if they want to think I'm the Antichrist, that's whatever. That's their opinion. You are welcome
Maybe
to
like
your
there
opinion.
might be some of those people out there. Not
Oh, there's a lot of
personal.
nutters out there. Yeah, a whole lot of nutters out there. I'm not gonna name any names. Later, Johnny Torch. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Opie Dog says they're not comic book fans. They are though. They are. EFAPS means every frame a pause, Victor. It's when you're going through someone's video or any video and you're letting it talk for a couple minutes and then you pause it and then you comment on it. And I don't know if Mahler and those guys created the concept of EFAP or if they just took it for the name of their show, but they do a show on Sundays called EFAP where they'll go through like movies and stuff and just play a little bit, pause it, talk about it, and then their show ends up being like 6 hours long. It's like, but there's other channels out there I'm sure you're familiar with who will like take my videos and pause every tiny word I say and try to come up with things I didn't say to make it look like I said stuff I'm not saying. Because people,
I've seen some odd stuff.
Yeah, it's called disingenuous.
It's like the Alex Jones thing when they keep replaying a clip of him, like a 5-second clip. It's like out of context.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
The written version was called Fisking, named after the leftist British writer Robert Fisk, where you take one of his articles and destroy it line for line. Huh, interesting. When are you going to do the Jazza drawing challenge? Oh, yeah, I did want to do that. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's something I'll have to set up at some point. I am otherwise pretty well occupied, so. So you still talk to Joe?
Sometimes. I mean, when I was more like doing a lot of conventions, when I usually see a lot of those guys because you do like dinners and hang out and stuff. But I mean, I don't talk to a whole lot of people anymore in the industry, but kind of keep contact here and there.
Maintain.
I want to know more about you. Like, I want to know, do you have any like interesting or weird convention stories? And like, how can you tell me like how you got started? Like, what was your?
Oh, sure.
I don't think you've talked about it that I know of.
I have. Dude, I've done so much. You couldn't possibly have watched everything I've done.
Yeah. I like that stuff. I mean, like, how did you break in? What?
All right. So I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was a kid. 7th grade, I failed AP English, so my dad made me give up my comic book collection. So while when I was in high school, I kind of got back into comics. Because my parents had divorced, so like, who cares what my dad said?
Yeah.
And then by the time I was in college, I had been drawing a lot of comic stuff, but I wasn't thinking about comics as a career because I wanted to do movie posters like Drew Struzan. And so, but my, what was this, 92? So maybe my second year in college. Yeah, I think maybe it was my second year in college. It was the boom, right? 92. And I heard, wow, Ron Lim is making freaking $30,000 a month. Of course, he was doing 3 comic books at a
See the
time.
one on Thor in the 80s?
Was it Thor? I know he did a lot of
Oh, yeah.
Infinity War stuff or Infinity stuff, and
I know I like his stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. The Warlock. Was it?
yeah, stuff like that. That was kind of his whole gig, but he was doing like 3 books a month, so I guess he was making about 10 grand a book. So he's making like $30,000 a month, and I'm like, oh, hell, I can draw comic books. So I took some of my comic stuff. I lived in San Jose at the time, and I had just, like, the week prior to this con I went to, which was called WonderCon, which it was up in Oakland back then.
Yeah.
I went to a Bay Area Comic Club meeting, and there I met one Jeff Johnson, who was an artist that I really liked because I loved Wonder Man. Man, that was a great book. So I met him there, and I talked to him. I showed him my stuff, and he dug it. And then when I went to, I think it was that next weekend, I went to WonderCon, and I was showing my stuff to the different editors at Marvel and DC and whatever. And it was funny because Tom DeFalco, who was editor-in-chief at the time, was doing this is back in the days when the editor-in-chief would be doing the portfolio reviews, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, he looked at my stuff and he asked me if I was tracing it, and I'm like, no. But so he gave me his card, and he's like, hey, send me some stuff. Let's, you can keep submitting stuff and whatnot. And so I had his card, but I hadn't gotten in, what was I think I was like just expecting to get hired or something. Because I went to Jeff Johnson. I'm like, yeah, I went to Marvel, and it's like, I just got a card, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, well, take this stuff over to Malibu and talk to a guy named Chris Ulm. Chris was the editor-in-chief at Malibu. And so I went over there, and I said, is Chris Ulm here? And it was Chris I was talking to at the time. And I'm like, Jeff Johnson told me that I should come show you my portfolio or show you my work. He's like, okay. So I pull it out, and it's literally, it's in a garbage bag. It's in all my work was just in a brown paper sack. It's not like I was poor or anything. It's just I didn't have anything else to carry my stuff in.
Right. Was it
So,
the
it was
1x17?
It was a grocery bag. No, it was 11 by 14 stuff mostly. I still have a bunch of those pages. And I show it to Chris Holm, and he's like stoked, and he's like, yeah, he's like, he's like hired me basically. He's like, I'll give you work. Let's talk Monday. I'll get you something. So I'm all excited. And I go home. Oh, well, first I went and talked to Jeff, and he was all excited for me. And then I went home, and Monday came because I couldn't wait for Monday because I was gonna get work. And I had this drawing that I did. I don't know if you remember back in the day, Wizard Magazine used to have these drawing contests where you could draw a character in a wizard robe and get published in the back of Wizard Magazine. Well, I had drawn something in my sketchbook, which was Colossus inside one of these wizard robes, right? And it was, first of all, it was in my, it was like this big. I had inked it with a technical pen, so I didn't even know how to ink. I was just using tech pens. I made a photocopy of it. I wrote, "Don't forget about me," and then my name on it, and then attention Chris Ulm on it, and I faxed it to Malibu. Malibu, I mean, it's a fax, right? Chris calls me like 5 minutes later, and he's like, is this how you ink? And I'm like, first of all, I just sent you a fax of something I inked with a rapidograph pen, because I'm like, yeah, he's all, well, I'm like, but I thought you said you were going to get me penciling work. He's all, yeah. I'll get you penciling work, but we need an inker right away. And so I was like, hey, you know what? It's work. So, yeah, he gave me he started me inking a bunch of piecemeal stuff, and then I became the official inker on Protectors, and I ended up doing a bunch of other stuff. They had me inking for like 2 years. But
So you're so adept now.
yeah. Except back then I was just inking everything with these felt tip art pens I got at the art store because I still didn't know what the tools were. The next year I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I met Victor Bridges, who drew just like John Byrne. He was the artist on Freak Force, but he hadn't started yet. And I saw him, and he's inking with one of these, a Crow Quill 102. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, this is what Terry Austin inks with. I'm like, no kidding. I'm like, I would love to, learn it. So he gives me a quill. He gives me a page he's drawn to practice on. Right. And it's like John Byrne, Terry Austin was like my favorite, him and Paul Smith back then. And so I went home and I grabbed that quill and I grabbed some ink and I started practicing on this page he gave me. I'm not even halfway done with it. And I get a call from Victor, who's never seen me ink with a quill, mind you. And he said, hey, do you want to try out on Freak Force? We need an inker. And I'm like, sure. So he mails me a pinup page of Freak Force. And having had a whole half page of practice with a Crow Quill, I inked it. I mailed that to Eric Larson directly. And Eric calls me and offers me the job.
Huh. Wow. That's like that's more exciting than what I went through. But that's pretty cool because you got you had a chance to really grind in and get good with those inks, and that's what strengthens your other work too. It's they always say you want to draw with the ink and pen to make your actual penciling stronger.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's
Asuka says I still don't know how to ink. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh no.
But yeah, and then I moved down to San Diego. I'll skip the details on that for now.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's part of the details. Yeah. It's just a story I don't share publicly because it makes Jim Lee look kind of like a jerk.
Oh, I already know the story.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Not as well as you do. But.
Yeah. So I was down here, and I'd come to. Well, I got invited to join Selam Studios, which was Ben Herrera, Mike Christian, Ken Meyer Jr., Scott Benefiel, and Ellis Goodson. Oh, and Jason Rodriguez.
Oh, this is so much better for me.
Do you have to be that loud?
Yeah. You want some Snickers?
Snickers? You don't want it?
I'm asking you.
I'll take it.
Can I ask you?
You can ask me. I'll take it. I'm not going to eat it right now.
It's so much better for me because I have shields which regenerate.
And this was at a brush inker studio. So Mike Christian and Jason Rodriguez were the inkers in the studio, and they both used brushes. And I was like, how do you do that? So they're like, well, it's a Winsor Newton Series 7, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And they showed me, and I watched how Mike held the brush, and I watched how Jason held the brush, and I noticed that technique they were doing. And so I had just gotten my first Ultraverse book over what's his name?
First, it
was the Solution.
Malibu.
Yeah.
And
Solution. And whatever. But I had never inked with a brush before, and I decided to ink this issue with the brush. And so I just grabbed the brush and I went to town on this issue. It was the first time I ever even practiced. I just started. And yeah, so the first thing I ever inked with a brush was that issue, and I don't know. Probably looked like crap, but I got the work done. So and then I became quite proficient with the brush too. So
trying to think of who else uses brush.
Gary Martin, Adam Hughes,
Terry Austin uses brush because I know he.
Carl Kiesel. No, Terry Austin primarily uses a quill.
Okay.
Like Carl Kiesel.
Bhutan cannons.
Somebody from the inker who was over at the Gaijin studio. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know like
a
a lot of the Gaijin guys use brush when they ink themselves.
Remember, there's an artist who kind of was known to be like a Frazetta style. Was it Jeff Jones or something?
I don't want
Frazetta style.
Catherine Jones. He changed his name to Catherine Jones later in life, but he was he did a lot of the covers for like in lieu of Frazetta because they wanted it like Frazetta, but then they had this guy to do it in a similar style. And he used a lot of brush on his comic book work. It's not very prolific, like a lot of work, but what there was of it was very beautiful brush work.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Hard to think of who it is, like, because the work his work is not very well known. But I'm sure if you saw the work, you'd recognize it. But that's like some of the most beautiful brushwork I've ever seen. Out of like any type of comic book styles and whatnot. Probably because he was a painter. So that maybe contributed to the brushwork.
People are curious about the Jim Lee story again.
It's on Google. Look it up.
Is it really?
I mean, you could find it. You know.
Really?
I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna look for it.
Say how to find it.
Well, I'm not gonna look for it.
Oh, the turrets are also good.
You have to read people's comment on when you type.
Well, I'm curious what story it is because I've got more than one.
The big one.
the intern one?
No, bigger than that.
You mean the fight?
I don't know if there was a fight. I don't know.
Not
I probably
physical.
don't know as much as you do, but I know the like basic of what I'm thinking of.
All right. Well, maybe it's a rumor. Tell me what you know.
Oh, it's definitely not a rumor. Because it's hard to say without. I'm trying to think of a clever way to tell you. It's probably has something to do with the artist you know when you work there. And
okay.
He's still in comic. I cannot say without giving away.
All right, you can tell me later.
I'm trying to think of a clever thing to say, but I was told it by like the guys that asked me. Okay. And then when you go on like Facebook and stuff, then you could see like, oh yeah, okay, that's what's happening. But I guess they deleted it after the fact to kind of bury the hatchet or whatnot.
Oh no, now I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I believe. How many times has Jim Lee been married? it's like 2 or 3 times. 2 times?
Oh, you mean Ollie?
I didn't say it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that had nothing to do with me.
You didn't were you there at the time?
Well, I wasn't. I was never there. I was always sort of tangentially there. But yeah,
Okay,
I know all those
That's like
guys.
with me and some other the
Yeah,
top cow stuff. You're not in the bullpen, but you're even though you do work for
yeah.
'em and
Well,
all
he
that.
offered to let me join the bullpen, but I'm just like, dude, I'm a freaking professional. I'm not gonna come in here and work like an intern.
Yeah. Well, you that time you've been in for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that stayed in studio
My
were
screen
More
just
new,
switched off.
fresh
for a
guys.
second.
Yeah.
I couldn't help
Yeah, that particular story is
it said
yeah.
upload disk space.
It's sad, but I don't know. I guess for them it's happy ending. I don't know.
Well, for 2 of them.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Some of the stuff that happened just recently with that. Like
No,
a year or 2 ago.
I forgot.
It's dirty. It's dirty.
I'm sure it is. I used to hear stories from the other artists. Yeah, Silvestri, Jim Lee, and McFarlane, all those the image boys. Their life drawing classes would be at a strip club.
Jeez.
That was the thing that they would always talk about. A lot of the artists, the younger artists, they're like, oh yeah, when I was hanging out with Mark and Jim and stuff, they just go to the strip club and that's their life drawing class. They're drawing right there. And I was like, as a young man, I'm like, wow, I never thought of that, but
Yeah, me either.
that's interesting.
There's a reason. They're not exactly life models posing for you.
I know. So I've had like other artists that are from like I don't know. I'm not gonna say the name, but he's an artist that was in the 70s that I was friends with still. Drew Marvel Comics, and he always had a funny thing to say about the image guy. Like he would say like, well, you basically know them. Just look at the wives they marry. They're all married to these Playboy bunny looking women and stuff. So
Yeah, Silvestri's wife was
yeah.
Is he still married to her?
Yeah, I think
That's cool.
Let's told a story about that as well as like one of the artists in Top Cow goes in this Mark's office and he looks at the wall and then it's Mark's wife naked.
What?
Bunch of pictures on the wall.
Oh, brother.
I guess he didn't mind the other guys seeing it.
Creeper.
So he rolls, I guess. But the guy who told me this, he's like shocked. He's like, wow, I didn't think Mark would have his wife naked in
Seriously, dude.
the office.
What the hell?
It was like those guys are like living their rock star lifestyle and whatnot. So the stories are always like interesting and like kind of shocking sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd be too selfish. Like I'd be more, I guess, moral because I wouldn't want people looking at my girl.
That's right.
That'd be only for my eye stuff.
It would have been so funny if somebody was like in his office, be like, "Hey, can I borrow one of these for 5 minutes?"
Better like, oh yeah, I'm using it for reference. They'll probably be like, go ahead. I don't know. There's a lot of funny stories. There's artists. I won't say who, but there's guys that would like stare out of windows in the like basically the bullpen area where all the artists are. They'd stare out the window and just for hours and not draw. And then you got other guys who would sit on the floor and cry in the middle of the floor when they're supposed to be like drawing. It's just like some really like odd stories. It's like, huh?
What the heck, dude? What was
Didn't
going
you
on
ever,
at Top Cow?
draw? I don't know, dude. Maybe it's a spiritual thing, but kind of odd. It sounded really odd to me because I'm thinking as a young artist, I'm like, man, I'd be trying to draw and get better instead of wasting all that time. But funny stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff I won't mention, but
All right, you can tell me later.
Phoenix.
yeah, I would. But
Well, everyone is just enthralled. No one has said anything for like 3 minutes. No one.
probably never heard some of this stuff before.
I know, right?
I'm making Legionnaires.
Yeah, that thing you're talking about, Jim. It's hard to even know if you can't talk about it because it's not like they were proud of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right? They were. It was. Yeah, I found out on Facebook, and I'm like, what?
I felt bad for LA.
Oh my gosh! Heck yeah!
I was there like at the convention between LA and Vegas and whatnot. I was frequenting a lot of conventions and I like saw firsthand like what was happening. They Aspen guys told me what's going on, and that was a big thing going. Everybody was talking about, and then I would see LA and he's just like, man, he's very depressed. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw him
I wanted to
around that
talk
time
to him
too.
and say something, but I didn't want to make things worse, so I just let him be,
Yeah.
But I felt bad
for
for
a
him
lot.
and whatnot. But that's the way life goes, I guess. I guess you gotta be prepared for anything.
Okay, I was able to
I saved Ali's job at one point. If I had not saved him, he probably would have gotten out of there with his wife.
Oh no!
Dang,
Oh, it's not your fault.
it's my fault.
Get your thing on the. Okay, so
He did pretty good at conventions. He got a lot of conventions and sales and whatnot that I saw. But just he still does. He does pretty good work. He's done a lot since Wildstorm days.
No, Ali's a great artist.
He's
He's another one of those guys I met before he joined Wildstorm. I met him in WonderCon too, because he's from the Bay Area as well.
Yeah, I like the guy. He's nice. And, he's close friends with Joe Benitez.
Yeah, he is.
So they would always hang out too.
JJ too.
Yeah, I remember JJ. I like him.
Yeah. Did you see him on the channel couple 3 weeks ago, something like that?
Where at?
Here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'd only hung out with him a few times, but he was a neat dude. Because it would be Top Cow guys, Aspen, and then whoever's from Wildstorm that was around. So we had, JJ, Ale, and Brian sometimes, but he was more of a loner. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of?
Christian Ritchie?
No, I think it was. The guy married. Hey, Beth Sotelo husband.
Oh wow, got Zilla over here.
Remember Beth from? She's a colorist. He's married to.
Not all melee.
What they look like?
He's Hispanic, Mexican.
Carlos Dienda?
When you start going for the right.
No, but he was around. But another guy. He
Michael
did background for Jim.
Michael Lopez?
No, I should type it in because it's gonna kill me if I don't. I feel bad for not remembering his name. We hung out so many times.
It happens,
So
dude. It's called a brain fart. Get over it.
Yeah. Joel Gomez.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He did backgrounds for Jim and
crap.
other books and whatnot. But so yeah, it would be all those guys, and then because it's kind of like all these little companies that were offshoots of Image.
Yeah.
So the artists and the inkers and the colorists and everybody in between, that's who would pretty much hang out
Yeah,
during
there
that
are a lot
time
more of them.
Yeah.
during the convention. They all knew
Yeah,
each
we should
other,
probably move ahead.
and
And now it's all gone to crap.
I don't know how it is. now.
I don't know,
Haven't been
man.
a while.
Wildstorm's just gone, so
Yeah,
you know.
and Top Cows, they don't do the artist anymore in studio.
No?
They mostly hire out
Really?
international.
Of course. Brazil.
Yeah, yeah, that and
Singapore.
whatever. And then Mark, I guess has some type of thing, cataracts, and he's in his 60s, so he doesn't do as much work here and there. And then his inker, I'm not sure why he got. I didn't ask, but he got rid of his inker. Liam,
Joe Weems?
yeah, he's a good inker.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
He would complain about the pages. He's like, man, like Marks keep giving me these sloppy pages. I have to do more work because it's not tight.
Because Mark doesn't care.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess he expected like the old style, like the John Buscema, because he's from that, like.
I don't know. I don't know Mark, but I know Jim well enough to say Jim doesn't care about his characters. You know?
Yeah, he's a draftsman. He's not. He sold them. I mean, he's not that.
That's right. He sold himself, and the price was Wildstorm.
He's one of the top guys. Or was he second in charge of DC or something?
He's quote unquote co-publisher, but I'm like, what does he even do? I remember freaking viscerally
Okay, I got mine.
that as soon as he got this
Oh crap!
this promotion to be co-publisher, he went on vacation for like 6 months. I don't remember how long.
Italy stuff.
It was Italy. It was Egypt. It was
Get on.
Greece. It was like freaking
I remember reading something
right.
like that.
It was like it was right after he got hired to be co-publisher. He just freaking vanished with Carla and just traveled all over the.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, good co-publisher gig you got there, buddy.
I remember reading or hearing, and I thought it was kind of interesting. He during the Wildstorm days, he came back from Italy. He lived there for a while, for a short period, I don't know. And then he was drawing in this like Italian style. So he asked his writer on that the first Superman book he did at DC. He asked him, "You want me to draw in my Italian style or my?" And the guy's like, "No, I want you to draw as in your Jim Lee style." Because I guess he was being more experimental and
What is that? Oh crap! It's a nuke.
his style and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess usually when the writers they want to work with Jim because he's known for that.
Because he's Jim.
Lee 90s style, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
another coming in.
Dragon said, "Who's the other guy?" You want to give a quick
The
recap?
other guy.
You're the other guy.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh,
hard.
thought he meant a story that we were talking about.
No, he's talking about me.
Mike Stewart. I am a humble comic book artist that started doing backgrounds at Top Cow Comics.
Oh
and now
no!
I am drawing my own comic. Pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. We're all
I
just
love comics.
humble comic nerds drawing because
This
we
is too
love
much
to,
happening.
right?
Yeah.
That's the thing with me. It's like I wouldn't want to be. Well, I wouldn't want to do anything else. I want to create.
Okay,
So I don't want to
go.
say I
We
don't
gotta
want to
get
do
them
that.
faster than they can have us.
But I always want to be able to draw. I want to, it's what I've done since I was a kid for free for countless thousands of hours.
Oh crap!
And then
Same.
Crap.
yeah, right. I mean, that's what it
It's
is.
a God-given gift. Gotta use it.
Yeah, I want to use it. I don't understand. And I know there's artists out there like John Beatty. Oh, not John Beatty. What's his face that John inked over? Mike Zeck. Like Mike Zeck doesn't want to draw anymore. I'm like, but you're Mike Zeck. I'm like, how can you not want to draw? Who's Mike Zeck?
I know Mike Zeck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what your question was.
So I was saying he gave up on drawing or what?
He just doesn't want to draw anymore. He does it, like he'll go to conventions and he'll draw commissions and crap like that. But it's like you ask him to do a cover, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that crap anymore. Like,
What is he? He sells stuff at cons, or what
yeah,
does
he
do?
sells
Just
prints
retired?
and signs prints and does commissions at conventions and makes a living at it. So
Such an odd contrast to like I remember seeing Gene Colan when I first went to conventions, and he was still drawing. He's like in his 90s. And
yeah, that's what I want to be. I mean, I don't want to be at conventions like begging money to draw, Spider-Man on a napkin or something. But I still want to be drawing. I still want to be creating until
yeah,
I don't ever want to stop.
Oh,
I know how you
still
feel.
one
That's
more
like
area after this, right?
same here.
I don't understand who people who
I lost
you know, for them drawing is just what they do to make money, or it becomes this chore. It's like, I love it. I love
Oh, I
it.
never even put anything
How
up
can
there.
do you not remember? Like being 8 years old and just plopping down in front of the TV and drawing for 6 hours or whatever. That's what I did.
Yeah, and it's like you have to love it because you don't choose it because you're trying to get rich.
Right.
Just because you have a passion for it.
That's right.
And then I look at it like, why stop something that you are very good at? Like with the Mike Zeck thing, it's like,
Yeah.
I couldn't understand that.
I don't understand.
I'd always
at
want
all.
to use what I got.
Yeah.
There's people that would like kill to have talent and ability to draw comics, but they're just not doing it for one reason or another. But there's people that would love to do that. So why I would feel spoiled and like not humble if I were to be like, oh, I don't want to draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Use what God gave you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to sit here and cast judgment on him. I just don't understand his decision
Right.
personally.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not, however how old he is. Maybe someday I'll get carpal tunnel syndrome and it'll just hurt to draw, and then I'll just use that as an excuse. I don't want to draw anymore because it hurts. But
I mean, there's guys who worked around that too, like 'cause they
it's like
they love it so much.
yeah.
But
tiny little baby man.
I love it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And I love seeing like artists
That is such
work that I enjoy. Like, I guess a good example is when I first saw Kim Jung-gi's work.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is different than the other stuff I've been looking at.
Yeah.
It's always like a joy to discover new artists. I mean, that's part of the whole thing of being an artist too, is like you're always exposed to new artists. So that whether it's up and coming or guys like Kim Jung-gi they've been drawing for a long time, but then you
Masters.
just found out about them.
Master, man.
Yeah, I like his whole idea of image streaming, like the way that he can kind of like recite things based on like he's drawn those things a lot, and
Yeah.
the way he thinks of it is he puts himself in the scene, and then kind of you've heard of like spatial memory.
Yeah, I've watched his videos. I understand.
Yeah, so he does that, and that's I think that's very interesting. It's fun.
Yeah, and I understand it to a degree. It's the same way you and I can like draw, Captain America's costume from memory, right?
Yeah.
Because we've drawn it enough times, and you can. I mean, a lot of things you can just draw them once, and you'll have them stored in your memory, and you can recall it for the most part. But
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, he's turned that into a freaking master class of just recall. It's like amazing. So
I think what got me to his work was the I guess you call it fisheye or 5-point perspective.
mm-hmm.
That was that's something I hadn't seen too much of, and then you combine that with the his like spatial memory and whatnot, the encyclopedic knowledge.
Oh, I remember that.
So that was really like it's like blow away. You're like, oh wow,
His brother,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Because he's like
also gamer.
he's doing the videos where
He wants to start getting into
He,
PC gaming.
no reference, just sitting there drawing away
Yep.
for a long time, and a lot of times it's a massive piece, like on a wall or something.
Yeah.
They're eventually gonna.
There's a lot of
gaming PCs.
legendary stuff.
I could
I
find
remember
Maybe
JJ
for
told me about
cheaper
some guy that had like
than
double
you would
jointed
buy one
fingers,
online.
and I was like, I couldn't remember the guy's name, but he kept telling me about this guy with double jointed fingers and that how smoothly he could lay down a line because of his double jointed fingers.
Really?
I was like, I don't remember the name, but I was like enamored. I was like, wow, really? Because at this point, I'm like a young artist that like grew up on like X-Men and stuff. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, wow, it's almost like a superpower for an artist.
Yeah. Like, how do I break my fingers correctly?
Some people probably would. You're like, oh, maybe
Well,
I'll
it's potential.
work for this company if I do this.
Yeah, JJ, man. I keep trying to get that guy to just
It's
do
like Legos.
something.
Did I do anything, any more work?
Well, he's always got
Legos.
something he's planning or working on or whatever, but it's just like his follow through is almost
I
non-existent.
was interested in it.
You know?
Oh well.
I just
Very
remember
good.
he's always had like, yeah, my plan is to do this and this and this and this and then
lot.
work my way up and build up that fan base, and then I'll do my book for my own book and blah blah blah. It's like 20 years later, like literally 20 years later.
The SpongeBob.
Yeah, I'm like, bruh, like you gotta freaking get off the pot, And this whole thing with marketing himself, JJ is made for YouTube, right? I mean, that guy
Yeah.
is
Oh man.
so gregarious.
He's so great to talk to, dude.
Yeah.
He's so entertaining and like
Oh, I remember.
you end up talking about stuff you never thought you would talk about. The guy is very charismatic,
Yeah.
very good speaker.
Yeah. He's tailor made for YouTube, and it's like, I'm just do it, dude. I told him to use StreamYard. StreamYard is super freaking basic and so easy to use. Anybody can use freaking, well, I don't want
your show.
I don't want to name any names. Drunken Cecil can use it, right? And
I know, right?
and it's like just do it. Just get on and start, and I'll have you on my show as much as you want, and you can freaking pick my audience off and
Why are we lacking things?
build more audience, because he'll have a whole different fan base with his vibe. Probably get him on Sexy Party.
Well, there's people that I even remember because at the conventions, him and the other Wildstorm dudes were always people were always paying them to do commissions and buying their stuff. So I'm sure there's a lot of
it
people
seems
that
like
would be
disconnected this whole upper area.
I would remember that. They wanted to be. Or he was one of the first guys I'd seen using Copic. Him and Adam Hughes.
Yeah.
What happened?
Very good with those.
Wait, you were down here when Adam was at Wildstorm?
There we go.
No. I'm saying like at conventions.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I know I've heard about that too. Yeah.
I'm freaking so funny, dude. He was here for 6 months working on the first issue of that Gen 13 thing. Gen 13 X-Men.
Yeah.
And just not
Oh, the
getting it done.
crossover.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just not getting it done. Just not working. And then because he wanted to get he wanted to go home, and there was it was Heroes Convention, which, you know, the guys from Gaijin Studios drove up to Heroes Con, right? And so the second book, he's like, oh man, we got you know, Wildstorm will fly me out to Heroes Con, so they'll pay for my flight home, and then I can just drive back with the Gaijin guys. So he got the second issue done in like a month.
There we go. Iron back.
But he was just like, he was just out there milking it. You know, he was getting like, I think like $1,000 a page or something like that. And so just taking his sweet ass time, you know, they had him an apartment for free. But he's like, oh man, I can get a free flight home. So he just banged out the second issue, like, and it was just as good as the first issue.
Yeah. What was it after that where he became like the convention dude? Because I remember when I first got into comics, he was the big convention. Those beautiful Copic markers.
Yeah, it was a while after that, and then he would do those sketchbooks.
Yeah,
and he'd have like 1,000 of them for $40 each, and he'd sell out like, you know, the first day of the con or whatever. It's like,
that's good money.
Jeez, dude.
I know. I heard J. Scott Campbell's numbers. I was like, wow.
I do not need 350
It's up there, huh?
Yeah.
Especially at San Diego.
Yeah.
And I like getting those sketchbooks from the artists. Art Adams was a guy.
Yeah, and Art's dude, Art's doing cons, doing freaking commissions all the time.
Yeah.
He makes sick money. He told me how much he charges for commissions, man. I'm like, dang, dude. His wife would get mad at him for taking covers from Marvel and DC because they only pay, you know, like legend rate, you know. It's like, oh, you got,
yeah.
I can't remember. I'm not going to say what he got, but, you know, it was way more than I got, and it was for covers, which then again, he could turn around and sell for a mint, but he gets paid so much just to do commissions directly that it's like, it's a financial loss for him to do these covers for Marvel.
Right.
It's crazy.
So that explains why he's a, I guess, convention hawk, so to speak.
Yeah.
Seems like he has a new sketchbook every year or two. I remember he had a lot of different ones.
Well, you got to do something with all those commissions, right?
Yeah. It's a nice way to print and sew.
Yep. Printing money, man.
Get your sketchbooks out.
No.
That Jim Lee would be.
Don't
What's
think in
that?
advance.
That Jim Lee would be great to have work on
We're
DC
not allowed
books.
to think in advance.
He does, doesn't he?
I think he does
I don't need
one
to
shots
hear
here
it.
and there now.
I don't need to hear it.
Suicide Squad was the last one, and then before that was the Superman, I believe. I'm probably wrong on it. Superman Unleashed.
I don't need to
Hmm.
I don't know what to say.
Still does. He shows what he does on his
Twitch.
Twitch. He
Yeah.
shows what he's working on.
He should get on YouTube. Except he's boring, dude. People say I'm boring. I watch Jim's videos. I'm like, dude.
I want Mark Silvestri to. I like it. I mean, I don't know what he, if he even wants to draw much, but I like his
We
drawing.
got production. Take a look at the Circle Factory. Everything's working.
You think he would, though?
Good Mark.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it because I remember when I lived in LA, I talked to. Have you heard of the Noman Workshop?
Yeah.
They were telling the guy, one of the guys that's like a head guy there, because I took class there. He used to tell because he knew I was did.
Yeah, the new Iron
Hold on a
like
second.
on
Oh,
Top Cow.
give me a
the
second.
Iron Man doesn't exist anymore. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Remember the new Iron Man?
Are you there?
Yeah. The non-existent Iron Man.
What are you doing, Eden?
Oh, I thought it was safe over there. Until
Alright.
it doesn't
Sorry, go
exist anymore.
Yeah, the Noman School. They do, for those of you who don't know, they do art tutorials online. You can, it's like a online school and whatnot. And they have a physical school you can attend.
Okay, while you're at it,
They have comic artists and concept art and all that they teach. But the guy, one of the guys, an admin or whatever, he was talking to me about Silvestri because he knew I, the Top Cow guys and stuff. So he said, "Oh yeah, we got Silvestri. We're gonna do a deal with Silvestri. He's gonna do tutorials videos for us." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's awesome!" Because at that point, there wasn't a whole lot of comic book tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really anybody on YouTube for comic drawing, and but I guess that never went through. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he's just not interested in that type of thing, like putting his skills out there. Maybe it's that old school mindset where you gotta you don't want people to earn it, you know.
Well, they got to learn it before they earn it.
With that,
they got to learn it to earn it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just speculating, but it's always nice to see some of your favorite artists tell you their process and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
There's guys I would totally watch. I'm not interested in gyms. I don't mean to.
well, you already seems like you already know all that type of stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's boring.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, another big influence on myself was Finch. Dave Finch.
Mm-hmm.
He, I would, with the other dudes, I would show him my stuff, and he would give me tips and whatnot.
That's cool.
Dave's a really good guy.
You still talking to him?
Not really. I've talked to his wife here and there. I think she writes comics and she does some kind of ministry thing. I'm not sure
Oh, really?
exactly. So,
Explain this to me.
but he's like super busy. He was training Fabok, Jason Fabok. That was like the beginnings of Jason Fabok. I was actually one of the. He had told me that if I go up to Canada, he would train me, but at the time I couldn't make it up there. He
have space science.
trained Fabok, and then he had a couple other guys. Started some out on backgrounds, just like I done. And they get good if they keep at it.
Don't look at me.
There's a lot of like
Oh,
for
yeah, we
the
can't do this,
audience
so we have to make rockets.
members. There's a lot of comic artists that
You
you
have to make rockets to get the science.
wouldn't know, but they have a lot of uncredited background
Yeah,
artists working on their stuff. Help them get the book out faster and whatnot. Not everybody does that, but there's.
No, it's mostly that kind of studio mentality from Wildstorm and
Yeah.
Wildstorm and Top Cow.
Okay, where's the rockets?
Which it all started at Wildstorm. Before the
Oh yeah, that was before.
Yeah, you wanted the science, you make the rockets.
Oh shoot, wasn't it?
the split.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to make the new iron base.
Fucking comics.
30, 20.
That's just
Any
resolution.
weird stories?
Yeah, no.
Like one was with Jim or Mark. Somebody put their portfolio to review underneath the bathroom stall. Do you have anything funny or strange like that?
Just
Or
just how I first met Jim. I was at WonderCon that next year after I was a pro, and it was the first big year of Image. It was 1993, and so there was like a mile-long line for the Image guys signing at WonderCon, and I just walked up past everybody. I took I went under the security line because I had a pro badge on. And I just walked up to Jim, and Jim was there in the middle. I think Silvestri was on one side and Liefeld was on the other. And I just kind of ignored them both, and I just took a drawing that I had done, and I dropped it in front of Jim, and I thought that you might like to see that. And he looked at it, and he thought it was really good, and he wrote his phone number down on a poster, handed it to me, and told me to give him a call. And then I came back later, and I'm not going to tell the whole of the story, but I came back a little bit later with just the pencils, because it was a piece that my friend Matt had inked, and he didn't know how to ink either. But we used to like pencil and ink each other's stuff. And so I went up to him with just the pencils, and I was like, oh, by the way, here's just the pencils. And he looked at just the pencils, and he said, where do you live? And I said, San Jose. And he said, how would you like to move to San Diego? And I said, what? So he hired me on the spot. The story of why I was not, and I should have been in that class with Jeff Campbell, Alex Garner, Ryan Benjamin. I should have been one of those guys, right?
I just built that wall.
But Jim's not a man of his word, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I have lasers. I forgot.
Oh yeah, that's oh yeah. Top Cow has the same stuff going on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say on that note. Oh, with your port. I was gonna say when you put your drawing down. Usually, when I would go, there's a lot of guys that get shut down. Like, so you had to been quite skilled to get his attention like that.
Yeah, I still have the piece. It's still a pretty solid piece. At the time I was drawing more like Jim, and that's what he wanted. So
yeah,
they want guys.
I've seen guys get torn up. Walk away crying after they get theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, the iron ore.
I felt bad for him. Like, oh man, I knew what was in store because I'd read those, wizard how-to books, and Like, be prepared to be told that you
Eviscerated.
suck.
No.
So, but I feel bad for those guys. I'm like, man, they didn't see this coming. This.
Yeah, it's like Eric Larson. He loves telling people they suck.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he still does it on Twitter.
Which one?
Yeah.
The one to the south?
World needs ditch diggers too. That's his line. And his
We have a higher
excuse for
frequency
being
discipline
that
than
way
that.
is that he'll either encourage those people to do better or he'll encourage them to quit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've heard that a lot from some of the older artists. I think it's more of an excuse to
be a jerk.
cut people short and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are those people who kind of. It's hard to tell off the bat, like who's gonna waste your time and who's serious. But you can kind of tell sometimes with the work when you see the work, like what kind of effort are they putting into it. Not that it's good or bad, but like you could tell, like
Oh, yay, rail signal.
if they're listening to the feedback,
Please,
that
not like
usually
that.
means they're a lot more serious about it.
Looks like it has a path.
Yeah.
Let me go check what's wrong.
Do you do any you have people come up to you to look at their work and whatnot?
Yeah. I try to point out the good first. And then I'll point out where they need work, and then I'll tell them to get the Bridgman book.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing that a lot. Yeah.
That's just kind of the way I do it. So
When you first see those Bridgman books as a young artist, you're like, what in the world is this? I don't understand it.
that's why you have to read it.
But then you get better, you start to understand it.
Yep. Thing is that
Why
people
Bernal is bad.
yeah. The thing is that people don't read art books. They look at the pictures and they think that's all they need to do, right?
Yeah.
But with Bridgman, it's a technical manual for the mechanics of the human body.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to understand beyond just what the musculature is, beyond what the anatomy is. You have to understand the mechanics of the body.
Yeah. I found what helps too with the Bridgman is visualizing, almost like a little short, like like an animated GIF, so to speak, but in your mind, and visualizing his pictures moving and how it works and whatnot. That helps a lot, especially now, breaking stuff down. Like just getting the work done, you kind of simplify everything and what is it? How does it work? The shapes, how does it fit together, and how does it move? I think that's helped tremendously.
Yeah.
Over I mean, of course you gotta grind and practice your anatomy and all that, but
Dang, I know we're still on, but no one has said anything since 12:53. It's been like 20 minutes since anyone's commented.
Did we lull them to sleep?
Are you guys asleep?
Oh, crap.
Is this
We need to cover that
solution not coming through? Oh, I'm on 360.
Oh, okay. Someone says just been listening.
Leading into the generator.
All right.
Any recently thought. I remember when DC, Nick C says, I remember when DC purchased Wildstorm. I couldn't wait for Jim Lee to start penciling DC superheroes. Boy, was I stupid. I remember that too, like the Frank Miller. Wasn't that his first DC? And then I went to the comic shop and the guys are like, oh yeah, Jim Lee's on working with Frank Miller. It's going to be awesome. Come there the next month. Yeah, Jim Lee's still working on issue number 1 for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So, pissed a lot of people off, I guess. They're complaining about him in the comic store.
Yeah. Well,
It takes long.
you know what? Like I said, Wildstorm was the price of having Jim Lee on permanent staff, you know.
Yeah.
And he allowed them, and this is what the timing is, right? He allowed them to dismantle Wildstorm. This is the stage. It was like, we're closing up the offices because you know, there's a west coast branch of DC now, so there's no point in having the Wildstorm office open. Just have everyone move up to Burbank. And those who chose to move up to Burbank moved up to Burbank. And
Right.
then it was, we're gonna close Wildstorm altogether. We're gonna shut down all the pucks. And lo and behold, Jim is gonna become the co-publisher of DC Comics. That's not an odd circumstance coincidental circumstance. It's like, yeah, dude, they bought freaking Jim's loyalty with the co-publisher job.
Part of the deal.
Yeah, I guarantee it. And all the guys that were on the Wildstorm books were just abandoned.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I don't think that many guys got much work. Even the guys that did, they didn't keep them on.
Yep.
As far as like a consistent basis, you know.
It's true. It's Pravda. It's Pravda.
I feel like there's not as many anymore.
Okay, do I want to work on Trump tonight or go to bed?
Are you almost done with the line work?
I just got to do Trump. He's in the background. Back here. It's probably too late to see.
Need more RoboPorts if that's the case.
I don't know. I kind of want
I
to.
like that.
It's already 1:00, so I might just wrap it up.
I like that composition.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
I guess Frazetta calls that a clump.
A what?
He calls it a clump
Oh yeah.
composition. Frank Frazetta.
Yeah, I know. Frank was a.
You learned that from, was it Roy Crinkle? He said. Pretty cool.
Appreciate it. Glad people like it.
You mean electric?
What's
Are you gonna do a trailer for the kind of like a semi-narrated or animated thing?
I do need to do something. Yeah.
I can imagine them I can imagine their names being on the screen and then they're moving and
Yeah.
whatnot, or it's narrated, you know.
Yeah. I have to figure out something because I really
That
want.
would be cool.
When I do go to push this, I really want it to push hard. So, if you have not already, the link is in the description, I do believe, to sign up for the MAGA7. And do subscribe if you're not subscribed already, although I think everyone already is. 190 subscribers. 191 subscribers. So, got one. Thank you. But that's it. Mike Stewart, thanks for hanging out, brother.
Yeah, dude.
And let's see. Let's check out your stuff. What you were working. Were you working?
Yeah, I'm doing my page.
Right on. Look at the Terminatrixes. All right. It is bedtime time for me. So thanks everybody for being here. Have a great night. God bless. See you tomorrow morning for cross examinations, and then I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I want to finish this page up, that's for sure. But yeah, have a good one. Oh, subscribe.
Right.
I think I already said that. Whatever.
Bye.
Bye, guys.